You're tired. You feel like you're the only one really holding everybody together, whether it be family, whether it be friends, you name it. You feel like, the burden is on you to do everything. You got to make sure the family's good. You got to make sure, everybody gets along, and it gets tiring. It gets tiring. And you oftentimes you ask yourself, why me? Why me? Why am I the chosen one to sit here, make sure everything's okay, particularly when it involves grown-ass people, But I'm here to tell you, from my perspective, the reason why you were chosen is because you care. Because you care. And it's as simple as that, I've been in that position before. A lot of people have been in those positions before. But oftentimes, if you're able to help, if you're able to make a difference, you will, because you care. Because you care. But sometimes it can be overwhelming. It can be overwhelming. Particularly with folks who have a lot of chaos, like within the family, chaos among, co-workers, whatever. It seems like you feel like you're the one that always, you're always you're the peacemaker, you're the judge, the jury. Everything's resting on your shoulder, and it gets tiring. It gets tiring, and oftentimes you start asking yourself, when am I going to have time for me? When am I going to have time for me? Well, I'm going to tell you when you're going to have time for you. When you make time for you. When you make time for you is when you'll have time for yourself. You got to understand that at the end of the day, some situations you can't change. Some situations you have no impact over. Some situations involve other grown-ass people. And sometimes you got to let grown people be grown people. I'm sorry. And I know there's a lot of parents out there, too, that have grown children that they're how can I put this, man, without being so disrespectful with it? They got grown children who, for lack of a better word, fail to kind of take on or accept responsibility, so mom or dad has to keep being mom or dad longer than they want to be mom or dad. I'm not talking about mom or dad as far as relationship. I'm talking about mom or dad as far as the household you're in. There's an old thing I remember back in the day where the old folks would say, it would be joking, but for some household it was real. They would say, when you turn 18, your ass got to get out of here. Your ass got to get out of here. The problem with that is, when you turn 18, sometimes the parents don't want you to leave. They don't want you to leave. There's a term I heard a lady use a couple of years ago. I didn't know what the hell it meant. I don't have kids, so I didn't understand it. The term was helicopter mom. Helicopter mom. She used that term because at a place I worked at, there was a lady that worked there, and her daughter also worked there. And the people that worked there got tired of the lady always hovering over her daughter, always looking after her daughter, doing more of that. Call her helicopter mom. And so you got a lot of that out there, and I understand it. You care. That's your blood. That's your kid. That's your child. You want to make sure they're good, especially in this crazy ass world. But sometimes you got to draw the line, man. You got to draw the line, because I'm sorry, at some point you got to take responsibility for your own actions. You got to take responsibility for your own day-to-day living. You got to take responsibility for your own thinking. You'd be surprised out here how many grown-ass people still have their parents think. I don't ever get that. Like I said, I'm very careful about spitting that out, because I don't have kids. But if I had kids, you better believe there'd be some damn rules. There'd be some rules. What's those rules? You know what I'm saying? And one of those rules would be, at some point, your ass got to roll. You got to roll. You got to get out and live life. You're gonna make mistakes. You're gonna fall. Don't get me wrong. The parents should be there to lift you up, to catch you when you fall or whatever. But at the end of the day, if you're a grown-ass person out there, you shouldn't be having another grown-ass person out there taking care of you if you don't need it. So for those folks out there who feel like, they're the ones always holding things up within the families, give yourself some space. Give yourself some time. Give yourself some peace. Don't let these folks ruin you, because they will. They will. And at the end of the day, when you stop breathing, when breath stops coming through your body, that person's going to go to the next person to fill that need. They're going to go on to the next person. You're not there anymore, but they're going to find somebody else to lean on. You better believe that. And sometimes people will get into crazy-ass relationships just to have someone else to lean on. You know what I'm saying? I don't condone at all. I can't stand a lazy-ass man. I cannot stand a lazy-ass man. So if you get into a relationship with because your ass can't get out and do what you're supposed to do, then you and I got a problem. Real talk. But at the end of the day, like I said, you know, you were the chosen one to care for everybody, to make sure there's peace, because you care. There's nothing wrong with that. There's absolutely nothing wrong with that. That's a good thing, actually. It becomes bad when it starts to take a toll on your health. It starts to take a toll on your mental health. It starts to take a toll on your relationships with other people. It starts to take a toll on your sleep. Y'all see them going with this? At some point, man, you got to draw the line. You got to draw the line. You give as much as you can, but then you draw that line. Because if you don't, your ass will get sucked in and drawn out. When I say drawn out, I'm talking about they'll pull everything out of you, every bit of blood that'll come out of your body, as long as they can, it benefits them. And you don't want to ever have to be in that situation. But with that, I'm gonna kind of end this, and I just really want to touch on, you know, people out there who really feel like they're holding things together, whether it be family, whether it be friends, whether it be relationships. You feel like you're the person's gotta be the peacemaker. You're the person that's got to be in the middle of everything. The person's always got to come to. You're the person. And maybe that's the truth. Maybe you're the only one that cares. Y'all take care. Bye-bye.